President Tinubu writes Senate seeks approval for fresh $2.2 billion loan. Dangote refinery begins fuel export to West African countries. Tension in Ohafia as gunmen reportedly kill policemen in Abia State. On the foreign and provisional results confirm victory for Senegal's ruling PASTEF party. Hello and welcome to Trust TV's news update. I am Chiamaka Mwafo. Thank you for joining us. President Bola Tinubu has written to the Nigerian Senate seeking approval of a fresh $2.2 billion as a new external borrowing plan, the 2024 Appropriation Act. The President's request was read by President of the Senate Godswill Akpabio during plenary on Tuesday. If approved, the loan will be used to part finance the budget deficit of 9.7 trillion naira for the 2024 budget. Here's details and more from the National Assembly.
Provided as new external borrowing in the 2024 Appropriation Act to part finance the budget deficit of about 9.17 trillion.
President Tinubu also transmitted the medium-term expenditure framework and the fiscal strategy paper for 2025 to 2027 to the Parliament for consideration and approval. Also forwarded was the National Social Investment Program Establishment Amendment Bill to make the social register the primary tool for the implementation of the federal government's social welfare programs.
While I trust that the Senate will consider the passage of this submission expeditiously, please accept the Civil Senate President, the Civil Senators, the assurances of my highest regards.
President Tinubu also sought confirmation of 3 nominees as commissioners for the Independent National Electoral Commission.
The Dangote Petroleum Refinery has started exporting refined petroleum products to neighboring West African countries, a sign to traders that the mega refinery's operations could soon potentially shake up regional fuel markets. A report by Bloomberg on Tuesday, quoting data sourced from Vertexter, Kepler, Precise Intelligence, a port report and ship tracking platform, said a tanker had hauled a shipment of gasoline from the Dangote Petroleum Refinery to waters off the coast of Togo, a neighboring West African country. The report said a CL Jane Austen recently loaded more than 300,000 barrels from Dangote and sailed west. Recall that last month, the chairman of the Ghana National Petroleum Authority, Mustafa Abdul Hamid, said the country is considering buying petroleum products from the Dangote refinery to help the country court more expensive exports from Europe, which cost the country about $400 million monthly. The chairman of NPA Ghana, who spoke at the OTL Africa Downstream Oil Conference in Lagos, said importing from Nigeria rather than Europe will reduce the prices of other goods and services by removing freight costs. Nigeria's energy sector remains volatile, with unstable prices hitting citizens hard. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, has announced yet another setback in ongoing rehabilitation of the Port Harcourt refineries, delaying their long-awaited production restart. In this explainer, Abdullahi Ahmed unpacks the struggles of Nigeria's failing refineries and the ripple effects on the nation's economy.
Nigeria, Africa's largest oil producer, has long struggled with an ironic dilemma. While sitting atop vast crude oil reserves, the country imports most of its refined petroleum products. Why? The story revolves around Nigeria's 4 state-owned refineries, the Port Harcourt Refinery, Warri, and Kaduna. Once the pride of the nation's energy sector, these facilities have become symbols of neglect and inefficiency. Built in the 1960s and 70s, the refineries have a combined capacity of 445,000 barrels of crude oil daily. At their peak, they ensured fuel sufficiency, drove industrial growth, and even supported exports. But the glory days were short-lived. By the 1990s, mismanagement, corruption, and poor maintenance began to take their toll. Today, these refineries either operate well below capacity or remain completely idle. Now, over the years, successive governments poured billions of dollars into so-called turnover maintenance. These funds, meant to restore the refineries, often vanish into opaque contracts and ineffective projects. The result? Well, broken promises and missed deadlines. Take the Port Harcourt refinery, for example. A $1.5 billion rehabilitation project began in 2021 with promises of completion by December of 2023. That deadline slipped to December of 2024, and now even that seems uncertain. The story is the same for Warri and Kaduna refineries, which were supposed to be operational by the end of 2023. Now, the consequences of these failures are staggering. Nigeria imports over 90% of its refined petroleum, draining billions of dollars in foreign exchange annually. This reliance drives up fuel prices, disrupting supply chains and burdening citizens with higher cost of living. The NNPCL cites, quote, unforeseen risks in the rehabilitation process, but Nigerians are tired of the excuses. Promises of cheaper fuel and energy security remain unfulfilled, and skepticism grows with each missed deadline. So, what's the solution? Many experts advocate privatizing the refineries or adopting public-private partnership, much like the model seen in the Dangote refinery. Others argue for greater transparency and accountability in managing public assets. Until these reforms take root, Nigeria's refineries will continue to represent a lost opportunity, a stark reminder of the potential squandered by decades of poor governance. For now, the dream of self-sufficiency remains just that, a dream, and the question lingers, will Nigeria ever truly take control of its oil refining destiny?
The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has warned the public to be cautious of fraudulent SWIFT messages and unsubstantiated claims regarding foreign currency transfers allegedly withheld by Nigerian banks or the Apex Bank itself. The warning follows a surge in petitions from private individuals, law firms, government agencies, and private entities claiming that foreign currency funds sent to their accounts by foreign entities have not been credited. In a statement signed by Hakama Sidi Ali, Acting Director of Corporate Communications, the CBN said these claims are often accompanied by fake documents such as SWIFT MT-103 and SWIFT Acknowledgement ACK copies, purportedly as proof of remittance. The bank also stated its readiness to involve law enforcement agencies to investigate and prosecute individuals making illegitimate allegations. The CBN described these documents as unreliable, emphasizing that they cannot be traced on the SWIFT platform. The Apex Bank clarified the standard procedure for addressing issues of non-receipt of funds, advising that the sender, rather than escalating the matter to the CBN or law enforcement agencies, should request the sending bank to trace the funds through a formal tracer process. On the political scene, the People's Democratic Party's candidate in the just concluded Ondo state governorship election, Agbola Ajayi, has rejected the results, alleging that the opposition, the All Progressives Congress, and the Independent National Electoral Commission perpetrated criminality during the exercise. The election results were announced on Sunday after an extensive voting on Saturday. The returning officer, Olayemi Akinwumi, who is also the Vice-Chancellor of the Federal University, Lokoja, Kogi State, declared Lucky Aiyedatiwa of the APC winner of the election on Sunday, extending the governor's stay at the government house in Alagbaka, Akure. However, Ajayi, in a statement by his special advisor, Ayo Fadaka, said he kept silent since poll results were announced to enable him to investigate contents of criminality perpetrated by both the victorious All Progressives Congress APC and INEC. He also threatened to take legal action against INEC and the APC. Ahead of the People's Democratic Party 99th National Executive Committee meeting slated for November 28, there are indications that Umaru Damagum has perfected plans to remain as the acting national chairman of the party till next year. Reports say the Damagum-led National Working Committee is scheduled to meet with the 36 PDP state chairman and the FCT chairman at the party's headquarters, Wadata Plaza in Abuja, on Wednesday. A senior figure in the PDP leadership who spoke on condition of anonymity said most of the chairmen have arrived in Abuja on Tuesday, suggesting that the meeting could be related to the upcoming NEC. Since assuming the position of acting national chairman following Senator Iyorchia Ayu's removal by the court, the Magum has faced growing criticism from party leaders amid the ongoing PDP crisis, with increasing calls for his resignation. His alleged lack of decisiveness was blamed for the worsening political crisis in Rivers State between Governor Similayo Fubara and his predecessor, now the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike. An unspecified number of policemen have been reportedly killed in Ohafia local government area of Abia State by rampaging gunmen. Though details of the sad event are still sketchy, the unfortunate incident is said to have occurred in Ebem, Asaga area in the early hours of Wednesday. Sources report that the area is said to have been deserted as residents camped for safety. These comes barely 2 days after 2 police officers assigned to Jinja Umusibe, a member of the House of Representatives representing Isialangwa North and South constituency, were reportedly ambushed by armed assailants while on official duty in Umuahia. The incident, which occurred on Sunday around 8:30 p.m., left one police officer who sustained multiple gunshot wounds dead, while the other officer and the driver escaped the attack. Efforts are ongoing to reach the police public relations officer, Maureen Chinaka, for comments. Ahead of the global 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, Kano residents have been speaking out on the prevalence of gender-based violence and its attendant effect on victims. To this end, they have joined members of the organizations campaigning against gender-based violence to identify critical gaps in current efforts geared towards addressing the menace. Trust TV's Abdulaziz Ibrahim has more.
The 16 days activism against gender-based violence will run from November 25th, which is the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, to December 10th, which is the Human Rights Day. In Kano State, the Women's Health Empowerment and Emancipation Initiative, along with other groups, have been discussing what they feel are the most urgent issues affecting vulnerable women and children as regards gender-based violence.
For gender-based violence, I treat more than 120 cases concerning the gender-based violence from the family issue, from schools, from community, that's from the society. There are different cases concerning husband and wife. There are different cases from Almajiri cases.
People are taking a note, but sometimes there are issues that the community keep quiet on them due to what will come back later, like stigmatization or something like that, like victims of rape and other cases similar to that.
There are budget every year, and then all these budgeted are done to protect the happenings of what is happening now. And all these monies you see, they have been released. Sometimes they are not released. But to make optimum use of the money released is the problem.
Despite some progress, these abuses continue to destroy lives, with many survivors facing systematic barriers to justice, healthcare, and support. These concerned citizens identify these critical gaps in current actions or a lack of actions altogether.
So when you come in Kano State, only you are talking about gender in the communities. There is gender in workplace, even the politicians, companies, and other places in the state. We need to sensitize people to reduce that gender-based violence against women, to stop it.
The matter sometimes is too large. You see both the family from the woman, both the family from the man, all of them will just come together. They will say they will not agree. Since this man beat my sister, I'm going to revenge. You see, from there, then the case started going. The government need to involve into the case and see how the matter need to be settled at home, not taking the case to the court. With that, we need a mini court that will settle the family issue.
It is part of our failure when there is no accountability in government. All these things are happening. And we are here to see how we can bring everybody into accountability against these ill happenings in the society.
The issue of protection of gender-based violence victims is a collective responsibility, where civil society organization and individual in the community has to contribute through reporting cases of gender-based violence to the appropriate authorities.
The message is clear. Urgent action is needed, not just for survivors, but for prevention of these crimes. By strengthening laws, improving access to justice, and offering community-based education and support, a safer future can be secured for women and girls in Kano State. Abdulaziz Ibrahim, Trust TV News.
To more stories, President Bola Tinubu has written to the National Assembly seeking approval to borrow 1.767 trillion naira as part of 2024 Appropriation Act to address the budget deficit. The letter, read by Speaker of the House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas during Tuesday's plenary session, revealed that the 2024 budget has a 9.7 trillion naira deficit. Here's the report.
The proposed loan is aimed at reducing this figure to 8 trillion naira.
I write to request for a resolution of the National Assembly to raise the sum of 1,767,610,321,779 naira, equivalent of 2,209,512,902 at the budget exchange rate of USD 1 to 800 naira.
In a separate correspondence dated November 19, 2024, President Tinubu also transmitted the 2025 to 2027 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper to the National Assembly for legislative review. He urged the lawmakers to expedite consideration and passage of the 3-year financial plan, emphasizing the timely approval would facilitate the preparation of the 2025 federal budget.
As the 2025 budget of the federal government will be prepared based on the parameters and fiscal assumptions of the approved 2025 to 2027, it is imperative to seek the National Assembly's expeditious legislative action on this submission.
Additionally, the President has requested the Green Chamber to pass the National Social Investment Program Agency Establishment Amendment Bill 2024. According to President Tinubu, the amendment seeks to revise the National Social Investment Program Agency Act 2023 and to designate the National Social Register as the primary tool for identifying beneficiaries of the government's social investment programs. This approach, he said, will ensure the social welfare initiatives are data-driven, transparent, targeted, and effective in delivering benefits to vulnerable Nigerians.
The purpose of the bill is to make the National Social Register the primary targeting tool for the implementation of social investment programs of government. This will ensure our social welfare programs are data-driven and implementation processes are transparent, targeted, dynamic, and effective in delivering social protection benefits to vulnerable Nigerians.
The House of Representatives adjourned sitting to attend the valedictory session in honor of late Senator Ifeanyi Ubah. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has condemned the recent attack on unknown gunmen in the Abatete Okpo community of Anambra State on the convoy of Representative Ginger Onsibe. In adoption of a motion of urgent public importance moved by Rep. Uchenna Okonkwo, the House urged the Anambra State government to provide immediate relief and compensation to the victims and their families. It also called for the rebuilding and rehabilitation of the affected areas. Furthermore, the House appealed to community leaders, traditional rulers, and other stakeholders to collaborate with security agencies to identify and address the root causes of insecurity in the region.
As well, recognizing the attack that was done on the convoy of Honorable Ginger Onsibe and leading to the death of some security personnel, the House is deeply concerned about this threat and violence that poses a disruption to peace, social cohesion, and economic development in the region.
In another resolution, the House resolved to launch an urgent investigation into the outbreak of disease at the Kaduna Correctional Facility. In a motion by Representative Umar Ajilo, the House said the aim is to determine the cause of the outbreak, prevent future occurrences, and safeguard the health and well-being of inmates and staff.
Kaduna State Correctional Facility has been splotched by a menstrual disease outbreak. resulting in a significant loss of lives amongst inmate populations. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, these disturbing trends necessitated immediate attention and actions from our esteemed Assembly.
Additionally, the House expressed concern over the non-functionality of 87 skills acquisition centers across the country. This followed the adoption of a motion by Harrison Anozie.
Essential resources and tools for training are often missing or outdated, further hindering their ability to deliver effective vocational skill training.
It directed the Committee on Labour and Productivity to work with the National Directorate of Employment to conduct a comprehensive assessment of the requirements needed to revive these centres.
Over in Taraba State, residents of Jalingo, the capital, have decried what they term insufficient circulation of Naira notes in the city, describing the situation as the major challenge, especially with the Christmas and New Year celebrations just around the corner. The situation, according to them, has led to congestion in banks' premises as a result of low or no dispensing of cash at almost all ATMs within the city centre. Here's the report.
Some POS operators say the situation has greatly affected their business as it is gradually becoming almost impossible to get cash from banks, as they can only get 10,000 naira from them. According to them, this has made them to increase charges to enable them meet up with their expenses. To be frank, we are finding it very difficult to run our business. If you go to the bank, you can hardly get 10,000 naira, compared to our customers who demand maybe 50 to 100,000 or even more. As a result, we have to bribe the bankers with some amount of money to get enough cash to serve our customers. To make up for the difference, we add more charges.
It's we that are operating POS that is affecting most. As you can see, the essence of operating this POS is to assist customers to make easy withdrawal and deposit. But as you can see, for like close to a week now, there is no cash. Even when you go to bank, you can't get cash. Even the customers buying other things now, nobody is using cash. They can only do transfer.
Some residents blame commercial banks, whom they said have failed in their responsibilities. Some who were seen at the bank premises are waiting patiently to withdraw cash from the ATMs, wondered why festive periods always come with cash scarcity.
We cannot tell the challenges, of course, because we don't know actually what we're in Nigeria today. Because during the cashless, we were informed about the cashless. But these were not information, not nothing. The richest ones are enriching themselves, leaving the poor ones to be very, very poor down there.
We've been finding for money everywhere and we can't get any. They say there's no cash. We have entered the cashless policy. So which we have not been enlightened ahead of time.
Yes, we are not finding this easy here. And you can see there is crowd and the money is restricted, so people are suffering.
You've been in the bank always, but for us to withdraw money, sometimes the money you're expecting wouldn't be the money that you receive from the bank. So the issue it may be from the money or something like, see, the place is very crowded and some may have while some may not have.
Residents fear that if the issue is not addressed soon, the nation may return to the pains Nigerians faced during the currency redesign period.
Away from Nigeria, over in Senegal, official provisional results made public on Tuesday have confirmed that the ruling party, PASTEF Party, has won a decisive victory in Sunday's snap legislative elections. They show it outperforming the two main opposition groups, coming first in 40 of the country's 46 departments and in 7 of the 8 diaspora constituencies. In addition, President Bassirou Faye's party extended its reach, winning votes in areas of the country that are seen as strongholds of former President Macky Sall. Faye assumed power in April following a landslide victory in the presidential poll, promising to crack down on corruption and improve livelihoods. But just 6 months later, he dissolved parliament, accusing lawmakers and opposition-led assembly of blocking him from executing the promised changes. Past this victory, the legislative polls has withdrawn the electoral map and given it unprecedented power to implement its program. And that concludes news updates at this time. For more news, programs and documentaries, do well for us on our social media platforms and on our YouTube live stream. I am Chiamaka Mwafo. Thank you for joining us at this time. Good afternoon.